The football news, top 10s and lifestyle zone. It is Italy are the champions of the Euros 2021, guys. Congratulations to Italy. England, hard luck next time. You'll come back and do better. But all I can tell you is that lots of things have happened into this game. We look at the game management from both times. It was really bad for the side of England, because being ahead by 1 goal for close to 70 minutes in there, and then you concede into that goal, and you saw every time that Italy was coming to you, and Gary Southgate couldn't really come out and do the needful for this game. It's really worrying and hurting in there for me, because I thought it's better to be like a Pep Guardiola sometimes. If at all you are really leading, at least try to possess that game and go ahead to the team. But England never did that from the second minute of the game when they scored. Actually, in the first half, they got only 1 shot on target, and that's the only shot that really went in. In the second half, they really never put up. They were just throwing their bodies all over to Italy. And Italy, we are doing that possession game. Verratti, Jorginho, and Berera in there into the midfield. We are really taking over the midfield. The Declan Rice, Kevin Phillips, all of them sank into that 3-man midfield of Italy, something that I really saw as Italy was really ahead of England. And the only thing that was in favor of England was that Italy had not yet done all what it wanted to really put England to the sword. But later, from the corner, they put England on the sword, and the game ended 1-1 in all draw. But going to penalties in here, look at how penalties are being taken, guys. Donnarumma is one of the most experienced, not experienced, but one of the best goalkeepers right now in the world being talked about. Donnarumma in there, he's one of the best goalkeepers, and he has saved 3 penalties of England players. One, he has saved a penalty. He never saved that of Rashford. It just hit on the lower bottom post. He saved that of Jadon Sancho and that of Bukayo Saka. So I think when a game goes to a penalty, you have no one to blame. I cannot blame anyone for a penalty. I cannot, guys, because a penalty is something that should be out of this game even, because it's being decisive. It shows that teams have played very well and they've equaled in all the strength. 1-1 all draw. Now a penalty is something, and it's a game of win and lose. So if we're going to penalties, we have to get a winner and a loser. These are not, it's not like a league, it's not a group stage. So it looks like when you reach a level of a final, we always know that there are going to be a winner and a loser. And the winner today is Italy and the loser is England. But I've seen very many players really cry, either Declan Rice crying, Bukayo Saka, the young one. I don't know how he's really going to come back. He needs really to be very, 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 very much cancelled, because at his age, because he's still a teenager in there who plays at Arsenal, and his career might be dead, because all of the loss is going to be hyped over him, because Rashford and Sancho losing, Rashford was compensated for that penalty that Pickford, the Belotti penalty that Pickford saved. It was the second penalty of Italy that Pickford saved. Then Sancho's penalty was saved, but Pickford came in and saved a Jorginho penalty, because Jorginho is one of the people who really hoof. He jumps, he hoofs, he jumps, and then he takes. But this time round, he did it, and Pickford went the right way, and he really saved a man who goes by names of Jorginho in there. That means Rashford and Sancho had been appealed for. They had gone out of the picture, because it was now the last penalty take of England to come out and do the needful and take this penalty, to see to it that they go into first loser loses the match. You get? Now, what happened? What happened was Saka comes in, takes a penalty, being saved by a man who goes by the names of Donnarumma. Saka, all the pressure is going to be piled on Saka. I'm seeing here English players in there, the Phil Fodens of this world. He was unused substitute in there, and very many other people in here that are really coming through to the Euros in there, to see to it that it really comes to an end, and they are going to crown a team which goes by names of Italy in here. And I've seen very many players in here crying. Italy are celebrating, and all I can tell you is that this is the game of football. It's the game of football. I'm a Manchester United supporter. I saw Manchester United lose penalties when David De Gea, in the final of the UEFA Europa League, gave out a penalty. But I cannot blame a goalkeeper. I cannot blame a player for missing a penalty. But I had instincts for one player. for two players of England. That is Sterling and the player who went by the names of Rashford. Yes, because I know Rashford, because these players, the problem is one. The problem Gareth Southgate did is giving these players that have not been playing into this tournament and giving them penalties. That is Rashford and Sancho, because being into this game, there is the way you gain momentum and there is the way you feel like you are the man. And the most penalty that had pressure that Rashford has ever taken, I think, it's the penalty that he took way back in the one penalty that he took way back in 2018, it was 2019 when United took a penalty against PSG, and that penalty saw United go through to the quarterfinals in there, and United faced Barcelona in there. So that is something that I really want to let you know, that pressure matters. And we look at Rashford, he's not a specialist in taking penalties, because even at Manchester United, you remember, they were sharing taking penalties with Martial because both of them had lost them. So Rashford losing a penalty is not news to me, but we shouldn't blame any player for missing a penalty, because even if Bukayo Saka, but for me, I'm just worried about the career of Bukayo Saka, because Saka is a young player. He's a young player. We look at Sancho missing. Sancho has seen it. At least he has played in tournaments like that. He's exposed, and there is something that is going to lift him up. He has just joined Manchester United. Next week, he's going to be unveiled as a Manchester United player. That is Jadon Sancho in there for you. So all I want to let you know is that Bukayo Saka, I'm really worried about him, and his future might be deepened by this. I don't know how he's going to be brave enough to lift up his soul after all this. The same apply to Kylian Mbappe. You heard what people were talking about him, that how is this going to affect his career? Is it positively or negatively? So even Bukayo Saka, let's look at him. How is this going to affect his career? Is it going to be a positive or a negative? But Italy in here, Donnarumma has been just crowned the best goalkeeper of the tournament in here, and they are really doing, they call it what? A standing ovation for a team which goes by the names of England, and after England going, and then Italy will go on and get crowned. But England, Wembley is empty. Wembley is empty. Fans of England cannot witness this happen to them, standing there to support a team which goes by the names of Italy as they take in a trophy. But England have not been able to come in and save themselves to winning their first trophy in first 55 years. But right now, I can let you know that the new European champions are a team which goes by the names of Italy, winning the game on penalties. 3-2 in there, Donnarumma saving 2 and Rashford missing out 1 on the lower bottom post. And the player who goes by the names of Bukayo Saka comes out and does what we call the last hit out into there, as Donnarumma continues to make his name into this. 22%, England have won just 22% of their major tournament shootouts in the World Cup and the Euros, the lowest ratio of any European nation to have been involved in the 3 or more. So when you look at a team which goes by the names of Italy are really a winning team, and this has affected a team which goes by the name of England. Here's the history. Look at the history. England have just, of the games they've played, they've taken 9 penalty shootouts in Euros and the World Cup, and guess what has happened? What has happened is this: England has only won 22%. 2 only of those. Of the 9, England has won only 2 penalty shootouts. So it shows you how much England is supposed really to do. As Gary Neville has come out and said that everybody has loved this boy in the last few weeks, and we will love him for the next few days. Every single one of them has been outstanding in this tournament. Gone are the days when we criticize footballers for missing penalties. They fell a little bit short, but have done us proud. Yes, that's the same thing I'm telling you guys. I cannot come out and criticize someone for missing a penalty. Why should I come out, for heaven's sake, crying out loud? Why should I come out and really criticize a player for missing a penalty? That's gone. That's way back. You shouldn't criticize a player for missing a penalty, because any player, tell me a player who has never missed a penalty. We've seen great penalty takers coming out and really miss out them. And by the way, now look, in 2010, those who know a country called Ghana, it was playing Uruguay, and they got a penalty into the extra time, the last half of the extra time. They were playing Uruguay, and guess what happened? A player who goes by the name of Asamoah Gyan hit the penalty on the post, on the bar. And guess what? When he went into the 5 penalties that were supposed to be taken because the game ended 2-2 in there and they went into penalties, he scored that one. So we've seen the Ronaldo's missed penalties, Messi misses penalty, Messi has missed penalties, Thierry Henry's, Darude Van Nistelrooy. Very many players have missed penalties. So let's not criticize players in here for missing penalties. As Spezzola here comes in, the man who really came out and really he's on his knees, on his actually got an injury in there, and they are really wanting to come in here with him. And Italy are going to be crowned anytime from now. Italy are the champions. I don't know what you think about it. You can as well go into the comment section and tell me what you think about Italy being the champions of the Euros 2022. Thanks you guys for watching in. I'm out for now. See you later tomorrow as we bring you more news as far as this is concerned. I'm out for now. See you later. Please subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. I'm out.